the Olympic break, right? With this result, but just a couple of aspects and things you want to point out as far as having that long break, basically a month, and then coming back and playing in a game against one of the better teams in the W.
Yeah. At this point, we're not gonna hop on the break. It's over. It's done. It's behind us. It really does not matter. We took care of that business. Now we're here, and I think just our want to factor wasn't there for 40 minutes, and that doesn't matter if we had a break or we didn't. I feel like we look the same way in Chicago, and we can't have that. Our teammate or our locker room is way too good for us to not want to be the best. And it's not, like I said during one of the timeouts, it's not an X nose thing. It's not cardio. It's inside. And we have to get that back by any means necessary, because I mean, there's a lot of good teams in this league and we are one of them. So we have to continue to show that we are one of them. And I think just for us, it's a mindset, and it's on me as well. I'm going to come in with a more focused mindset to hold my teammates accountable and to want it. Just that's all we need is to want, and then the rest is easy. So hopefully we can gain that back tomorrow.
Agent, for you, I'm a 3-point guy, so I live and die by the three. And I just watched today on both ends. If you look at the stat sheet, they're 8 of 31, you're 9 of 31. So you think, okay, good perimeter defense.
Yeah.
But when I watched the game, they missed wide open looks.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel that we had the same ball movement inside outside to get open looks after the first quarter.
Yeah, and sometimes when it's a game like this, and I'm going to always trust my shooters. You kind of want to get it all in one possession instead of letting it develop. And I think that's the blessing and the curse of just being very talented, because we really could go out there and get it. But sometimes you got to let the game play out. And I think in some cases, we did get lucky that they missed. But I think at the same time, we got to focus more on the defensive end of how we can make those at least be a little contested, because they have great shooters and they're going to knock them down. But I think at the end of the day, we have to continue to harp on our defensive end and not be like, I'm glad they missed that one. Like, we can't test our luck in these games against this league. And that's just, we got to start on the defensive end, and just whether that's being more physical, whether that's going back to the want factor. And I think that's what we're going to continue to build on.
Question over here for Chelsea. All the way over.
Sorry.
No worries. This is the back half of the season. You've got 16 games coming up in the next 30 days. Can you tell us the mentality that you're going to need for this team in order to sustain that and to achieve the goal that you guys are looking for?
It's just one game at a time. When you look at the whole season, it's a little overwhelming. We just have to take it one day at a time, one game at a time, one quarter at a time, and focus on the little things to get the big picture to happen. And that's what we're going to, talk about in our locker room and watching film, is trying to get better each time we step out on the floor.
Chelsea, what was it like to win gold in front of your son and your wife, and maybe that fire you have in you to start off the second half?
It was amazing, man. We had the opportunity to go to Tokyo, and blessed with that opportunity, but it was just different having our family there, and then having the gold. I guess, babies are teething, and you knew exactly what to do with the gold and bite it. So it was fun. It was nice. I had a great time with them, but also to do it with the other three, like to be able to hold up that gold medal with them, it meant everything for me as well. And now,
What else?
Sayonara. Oh, wow. What's up?
How's it going? Would it be like over here?
I just put that on you.
Hey, Asia, this one's for you. Martin Ling of Dynasty Sports. I just wanted to get your thoughts on being a 99 overall NBA team. I just had to ask that.
Yeah, that should have been 100.
I don't even know what that means.
Me either, Becky, but it's okay. It's good. It's okay.
I assume it's good.
Yeah, it sounds really good. That's pretty cool.
I scored 99 on my, that would be happy.
Right. I feel like that's pretty. Anytime you're not in jacket weather, I feel like you're doing pretty good. So I'm blessed. Ronnie has done a somewhat good job of, I guess the scale of how he goes. Obviously, I'm always say I'm 100, period. But no, I mean, it's a cool thing. People I've gotten a lot of messages from people like, oh my gosh, you're 99. So it is a blessing, but it's something that I don't play the game. So maybe I'll start playing to see what a 99 really looks like. But no, it's pretty cool.
I just bought it.
Thank you.
And he would not let me in the
Somebody
one
get her
that didn't
some
have you
alms.
on the cover.
Do you have any more for the players?
It's good. I know.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, now we're gonna have to go the long way because Becky's sitting back in her section.
Don't make,
Ugh.
don't make me move.
Now what? You got long. I can do this.
And that's hard. All right, questions for coach?
Becky, Asia said, it wasn't about X's and O's, and this one was more that kind of want to factor. And I know it's first game from back from the break and all that, but as a coach, when that want to isn't there and you hear that from your leader, how do you go about coaching to kind of bring that out of them?
They have to bring that. They have to bring that. If I could give it to them, believe me, I would give it to them. They have to bring that aspect, because that's internal. Like I said, I can sit there and try to put Band-Aids over these little cuts and bruises, but when you're bleeding internally, doesn't do much.
Coach, I saw some of your expressions there on the sideline there where you felt like too many uncontested threes, even though they weren't knocking them down. New York wasn't knocking them down consistently like they normally do. But I could see that the team just wasn't playing up to Becky Hammon's standards. I felt that in the second half. What do you do to get the gals refocused and, what's at hand, a three-peat, all that stuff? But I know you're a one game at a time mentality coach.
I mean, you hold that team to under 80 points, you need to win. So tonight, the problem was more on the offensive end than the defensive end. I think we shot 3 for 22 after the first quarter. That's not gonna get it done against the best team in the league. And they are the best team. Really, this is just a disappointing effort, and I continue to harp on it. It looks different when they play together. Playing the right way isn't optional. It's not based on whether this person can make a shot or not. It is based on what the defense is doing, and the ball was late. We had multiple people go just freaking rogue, and it looks incredibly selfish because it is. And I don't care whether it's who is shooting. AC, Kia, Kate, Tip. I always think it's going in. They gotta think that about each other. And that helps you make the right play. But, I mean, we just, after that first quarter, obviously it looks better when the ball goes in. I think we made 6 threes in the first. Conversely, like I said, I think we did a pretty decent job defensively. I'm not happy about the 13 offensive rebounds. They took 9 more shots. I'm like, wouldn't you guys have like 9 more attempts? That would be nice. Our team got up 9, but we still aren't doing the little things for each other. And we just have to have people have better performances. We gotta shoot the ball better too. I mean, when you're playing a team like that is that loaded, you have to play well. And we had some people that didn't play well.
Going back to Jesse's question, a lot of the things that you're saying today are just things that you kind of said throughout the season. Still entering play tonight, your team was favored by 3.5 points. What does that say about how this group is still kind of recognized widely, despite the way that this season is going for you guys so far?
I don't know, that's other people's thoughts and opinions. I actually don't care. We're over, under, what the fuck, I don't care. Sorry.
Coach, what have the challenges been like this week, just trying to get your Olympians back into the groove of things?
I mean, what they were over there with the last month is exhausting. I mean, it'd be foolish to say otherwise. A lot of pressure, a lot of stress, a lot of pounding. So it's just really about giving them the rest that they needed, but we looked a little rusty. We looked like we hadn't really played in a week. That's funny because New York just played LA and they didn't look like they missed a beat. They didn't exceptionally shoot the ball well tonight. We just probably shot a little worse. But that's why you can't have all those other little things go wrong. New York's very unselfish, and I think that's probably their best attribute.
One more question in the room, and then we'll close it out with Kevin on Zoom.
I just wanted to get more of a clearer perspective on what you're saying. You said that players kind of went rogue, and then you mentioned like, obviously that looks better when the shots go in. So did you feel that things weren't going according to the correct game plan in the first quarter when everything was going well? Like, was there some going rogue in the first quarter?
No, there wasn't. That's why we scored 28, because the ball was moving. Going rogue is I just hang on to it and dribble in place for 20 dribbles. That's not how we play. And we're not going anywhere with that. And it was multiple people just dribbling and us standing, staring at that person dribble in place. That was an ugly game. Sorry for the TV audience. Both sides kind of.
And you feel like that shift happened from first to second? Like,
I feel like it happened second, third, fourth. As soon as it started not going great, we decided, well, we're just gonna make the right play sometimes. Like I said, playing the right way is not optional, and it is not based on whether the ball goes in or out. It is a mandatory, necessary way to play. Because here's the other thing, you won't have the efficiency that I know my players are hard on themselves about. My players are hard on efficiency on themselves. I don't have to get on Jackie Young or KP or Chelsea. They don't like shooting the ball like this. If they score 20 and they took 25 shots, they're not happy with that. So my message, to the whole team is you will actually play better. You will shoot better when we get ball movement. You can't get ball movement if your players are standing in one place. You have to get ball and player movement. They are intertwined. One is based on the other. And the ball was popping in the first quarter. And there was times it did in the second half, we just missed. And then we quit doing it because we missed. And that can't be the marker.
Kevin, final question? Kevin, you got your hand
Hi.
up?
Yes. Hi, coach. And tough one tonight. This is a two-part question. First, I know that the Liberty outscored between the end of the first quarter and the first 3 to 4 minutes of the second quarter, 20-2. What were some of the adjustments that you saw looking on the floor from a defensive standpoint that kind of took that swing that they had to change that momentum? And then the second question, from an offensive standpoint, you guys had 15 assists on 12 turnovers. How did you assess New York's adjustment defensively based off of their pressure and their length that you could see from the floor?
Any other questions? Your first question was about the adjustments. Is that correct, in the second quarter, starting at the second quarter?
Yeah, so from the end of the first quarter to about the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second quarter, the New York Liberty went on about a 22 run. What were some of the adjustments you saw from that standpoint and from a lack of defensive perspective on your team?
I got it. Thank you. Our pickup points started to be crappy. We got soft. We didn't engage the ball well enough. They kind of just bully balled us and get into spots. If you go back and you start watching, they're picking us up full court and we're picking on them up at the freaking hash mark. It's not good enough. So instead of extending pressure, we kind of shrunk back. Then we went away from some schemes. We gave them some switching that wasn't supposed to happen. Switching gets you into rotations. It makes it a disadvantage on the boards. I mean, I could go down a list of things that we did wrong, sir. And we missed shots, so it starts to compound because now you're playing in transition defense all the time. So, I mean, it's like plugging 12 different holes in the dam. Everybody got to be doing their job at the same time at a high rate of want to factor, of edge, of execution. It can't just, I think they played harder than us in some ways, that's probably the most disappointing. Ball doesn't go in, out, whatever, this adjustment, that adjustment. You can't get outplayed heart-wise That sucks. That's disappointing.
Thank you, Becky.
I don't remember.
Thank you, coach.